George Makhamreh from grade 4CP. As a kid, I'm really obsessed with the space. I'm really excited about being an astronaut and designing rockets. So, have you ever asked yourself, what is rocket ship and how it works? What is rocket ship? It is a rocket-powered vehicle used to transport robotic spacecraft, artificial satellites, space probes, or humans between the Earth's surface and outer space. So, what is spacecraft? A spacecraft is a vehicle or machine designed to fly in outer space, with or without crew. Spacecraft are used for many purposes, including communications, Earth observations, meteorology, navigation, planetary exploration, and transportation of humans and cargo. Well, we have different types of spacecraft. We have human spacecraft and robotic spacecraft. Human spacecraft is spaceflight with a crew or passengers. The spacecraft is being operated directly by the onboard human crew or remotely from ground stations on Earth. The first human in space was Yuri Gagarin, who flew the Vostok 1 spacecraft, which was launched on 12th April 1961. So, what is robotic spacecraft? A robotic spacecraft is an uncrewed spacecraft. It is designed to make scientific research, and they are often called space probes. Space probes carry cameras, computers, and robots. Many space missions are more suited to robotic rather than crewed operation due to lower cost and lower risk factors. That's why scientists send space probes to explore places that humans can't reach. Did you know many artificial satellites are robotic spacecraft? Sputnik 1 was the first artificial satellite successfully placed in orbit around the Earth on 4th October 1957. Now, what about Apollo 11? Apollo 11 was the first space flight that landed humans on the moon. On July 1969, the Apollo 11 crew successfully completed the national goal set by President John Kennedy to perform a crewed lunar landing and return to Earth. Armstrong and Aldrin became the first humans to walk on the lunar surface of the moon. The astronauts planted the lunar flag assembly containing a flag of the United States on the lunar surface. What are the parts of the rocket ship? The rockets that launch into space are made up of 4 major systems based on function. First, the payload system. Second, the guidance system. Third, the propulsion system. Fourth, the structural system. Let me tell you about each one of them briefly. Payload system. The payload system consists of anything the rocket is carrying into space. The payload can be a satellite, space probe, or spacecraft carrying humans or animals. Guidance system. The guidance system is made up of radars and computers that provide stability for the rocket and control movements in flight. Propulsion system. The propulsion system includes the rocket engine, fuel, and oxidizer. The function of the propulsion system is to produce thrust, which is the force that moves any aircraft through the air. The last system is the structural system, which makes up the frame that holds the rocket together. The frame is made from very strong but lightweight material, like titanium or aluminum. It consists of body, nose, cone, and fins. how the rocket ships work. Before we launch ourselves high into space, we have to know that rockets work by a scientific rule called Newton's law of motion. One of the laws says that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Remember, guys, this is the most important idea behind how rockets work. So now, to launch a rocket upward at high speed, the fuel plays the most important role, which is also known as propellant, and can be either solid or liquid. This is stored inside the fuel chamber of the rocket. This stored fuel is burned and mixed with oxygen gas, creating exhaust or flames. The exhaust pushes out of a rocket's engine down toward the ground. The rocket begins moving in the opposite direction, lifting off the ground, creating a tremendous amount of momentum. This is called jet propulsion or thrust. Well, sometimes the thrust is not enough to lift the rocket. So to overcome this failure, certain stages are followed. At the first stage, the solid propellant boosters are attached to the rocket, as they can move the rocket up to 28,000 kilometers an hour far into space. After this, the solid propellant boosters get detached as they consume all their fuel. Then the main engine, which helps the rocket to move further, gets detached after consuming its fuel. These detachments help the rocket achieve greater acceleration. These separated parts either fall into the ocean or is burned up into the atmosphere. The rocket launched. When it gets to a specific distance from Earth, it will release the satellite, which will be moved around the Earth in a circular motion. The satellite stays in orbit because it still has momentum. The energy it picked up from the rocket, pulling it in one direction. However, Earth's gravity pulls it in another direction. This balance between gravity and momentum keeps the satellite orbiting around Earth. From now on, don't ask how these beautiful photos of Earth and other planets in our solar system were captured. Those photos were captured by spacecraft, robotic explorers who were doing their work far away from Earth. And now, how do astronauts get home and go back to Earth? They will prepare re-entry and commence separation from the service module and begin descent from orbit, falling back to Earth according to the calculated trajectory. The spacecraft enters the atmosphere at very high speed that the air around is heated and turns into a fiery plasma. The temperature outside the spacecraft is double that of volcanic lava. At 8.5 kilometers above the ground level, the capsule's huge parachutes start to open. You feel gravity dragging on your body as you come into land. Congratulations on your safe return. Welcome back to Earth, astronauts. Can a rocket launch kill you? When the engine lifts up from the launching pad, then a huge amount of fire gas is exhausted in the flame trench, like this video, along with a sound energy of high intensity, similar to this sound. Listen, guys. This sound energy is sufficient to kill a person or damage the surroundings. How fast does a rocket have to travel to get into space? If you just want to get into orbit around the Earth, you need to reach speeds of 17,600 miles per hour. If you want to completely escape Earth's gravity and travel to another planet or moon, though You need to be going even faster, at a speed of at least 25,000 miles per hour. Space speed record. In 1976, the Helios A and Helios B spacecraft reached a speed of 70 kilometers, 44 miles a second. That's like traveling from London to New York in 1.5 minutes. Can you imagine that speed? This speed has never been beaten. Will we ever travel to the stars? Stars are so far away. The nearest star is 25,300,000,000 miles. It would take the fastest rocket thousands of years to reach it. It is always possible that sometime in the future, people may find a way to travel to the stars. But right now, we do not have the technology. I was brought up to believe nothing is impossible. The dream of yesterday is the hope of today and reality of tomorrow. Thanks for watching.